I'm Jojo Roper and Surfers Rule.
I'm the 100% non-AI, fully human Chris Ahrens. I promise. I've been collecting surf stories since 1964, hanging out with Dale Velzy at his shop on Coast Highway in Newport Beach. In 1991, I put it all together in the book, Good Things Love Water. Here, Greg Knoll, Dale Velzy, Rabbit K. Kai, Phil Edwards, Margot Oberg, and many others came together in stories you had never heard before. While Good Things has been out of print for over 20 years, I still get requests for it nearly weekly. Back by popular demand, as they say, I am reissuing Good Things not as a paperback this time, but as a coffee table volume. I've added some tales, subtracted others, and gathered some of the best surf photos of all time from some of the hottest lensmen in our sport. Dan Merkel and Steve Wilkins stand tall among them. You can check it out by visiting our website, perelandrapublishing.com. Boom. Here's a quick hit from the new book. It's a true story and one I had to learn, sadly, the hard way. The best surfer in the world is the one having the most fun. Phil Edwards. A moderate northwest swell wrapped into Cardiff Reef when I grabbed my new 7.6 asymmetrical Carl Ekstrom, walked down the road, jumped into the lagoon, and slipped into the stream, headed for the lineup. Once I broke free of the current, I began paddling, noticing 3 erect figures standing as proud as the mast of Captain Cook's ship Endeavour. These stand-up paddlers, SUPs, greedily ran down the best of the 4-foot set waves. Having surfed this spot for longer than the oldest of them had been alive, I knew I could outflank them and test my new board. When I reached the outside, however, 3 SUPs were choking off the lineup, feeding like sharks on anything that wasn't another shark. Looking shoreward, 9 more SUPs approached the peak with the ferocity of war canoes. I was as jealous of their paddle power as I was their camaraderie as they jumped into the revolving door, joked among themselves, and lifted their paddles in salute to one another, possibly unaware they were stealing someone else's fun. I paddled for a wave and was dropped by a paddle-gouging stink bug. The wake of his board hit like a fire hose, and I surrendered to the soup before ever standing up. I shouted a word I promised myself to never scream in my adult incarnation. Flipping off the entire crew, my head down, I paddled in. Storming the beach, I passed a chubby, middle-aged man smiling broadly while dragging 2 boogie boards by their leashes through the damp sand. Beyond his hearing, I mumbled, "Who's this idiot?" I focused on the shoreline where the jerk with the boogie board was helping a young boy, perhaps his jerky son, attach his leash to his wrist. The jerk stood menacingly before reaching for his own sponge. Then I noticed that his right leg was not of human flesh, but rather flesh-colored plastic. A tiny wave hit him, and he nearly fell over, reaching out to help the boy get into deeper water. They were only about 20 feet from shore when they stopped and turned their boards around. I could see the man was offering some instruction to his son. His laugh was deep and loud, especially compared to his boy's, which was light and melodic. They waited for a soft whitewater wave, oblivious to the hard world that had taken the man's leg and the 17 SUPs, gobbling up every wave beyond them. 6 inches of whitewater caught the pair and whisked them, deliriously happy, toward the sand. Once they made shore, they high-fived one another. After falling twice, he stood again and began the brave process that resulted in the 2 getting another wave. Their joy was big enough to eclipse an entire ocean of self-pity. If you like this story, please whack the subscription button and gently push the like icon. You can learn more about Good Things Love Water by traveling to our website, perelandrapublishingcompany.com. Love, thanks, and blessings from all of us humans at Surfers Rule.